I would like to, I just wanted to talk a little bit about Planet Rock, because I've kind of got this, you know, I've been doing it for 2 years now. I think I'm on my 104th show this coming Sunday, which is extraordinary. I can't believe I managed to keep the, you know, they allowed me to stay for so long, frankly. But it's been great fun, and you know, as you know, if you listen to the show, I've been doing things in between the songs and all this, and right in the middle of the show, when I did my Toby's Moby, which was kind of loved and hated in equal measure. Oh no, that's gone off. Put that back on. Hey, there we are, backdrop. But now I do a thing called Toby's Trailblazers, which is kind of my journey through history of songs that not only sort of influenced the whole of music development and rock development, if you like, but also that really influenced me. And a couple of weeks ago when I did my first one, I did Born to be Wild by the great Steppenwolf, which was, I said on my show, I think was one of the very first songs that I ever played live, with the original version of Little Angels, which was called Zeus, believe it or not. And Mark Plunkett was in the band, and it was because it was so simple to learn, and a great song, you know. And then I talked about that song, and then what I've been doing after the shows in the following week, I've been following that up with blogs and video and audio to follow on with this whole concept of discussing these things. And so, for instance, in the Born to be Wild week, I then did a video about Dennis Hopper, because Dennis Hopper was in Easy Rider, of course, which was very much the key song in that movie, was Born to be Wild. So I then talked about Dennis Hopper, because I'm a big fan of Dennis Hopper. So if you go on my YouTube channel, which you can be accessed through my website, of course, which is it's Toby and the whole truth. Sorry, TobyJepsonOfficial.com. Go there. Sorry. You can see all this stuff, and what I want to do is I want to sort of get a conversation going about all kinds of different aspects of the art that are all connected. So last week I talked about the wonderful Trogs and the song Wild Thing. Now it's interesting to note that in a similar way, it actually was, I think, probably the first song I ever learned to play. I didn't ever play it live, I don't think, but it was because it's so simple, and its genius is that it is so simple. And I think that's kind of often very badly missed, I think, in modern music making, is the simplicity thing. Certainly in rock, I think there seems to be sort of an obsession with complexity and stuff like that, you know. But I think if you learn something like Wild Thing, it is so unique, so specific, and so immediate that there's a real lesson in the kind of in the simplicity of it. So I'm going to play that now, and to give you an idea of it. It's ever so simple. I mean, if anyone has got a guitar or likes to play, it's really easy. It's A, D, and E, and then it does that, and it's really simple. So I'm going to play it now for you. I'm just have a little, just for a bit of fun. I love you, but I want to know for sure. Come on and hold me tight. I love you. Yeah, wild thing. You make my heart sing. You make everything groovy. You move me, but I want to know for sure. Come on and hold me tight. me. Yeah, wild thing. You make my heart sing. You make everything move. Wild thing. It won't finish. See, really simple, isn't it? But actually, beautiful because of it. That's so. Yeah. So what I've done this week is I've now done a video about Oliver Reed, because Oliver Reed famously did a really, or infamously did a performance of Wild Thing on Wogan, I think it was. I don't know if you guys remember it at all, where sadly he was really drunk, but it became a kind of classic piece of television, still is. But it sort of got me thinking about him and the fact that he's one of those actors. I mean, I've always been an massive Oliver Reed fan, and it got me thinking about sort of the way that people perceive, you know, big stars and sort of people who are really, really in the public eye, especially back then, in a kind of very, I guess, a time when the moral concerns of all of that stuff were completely immaterial, really. Oliver Reed was famously big friends with, Keith Moon, and they were like hellraisers, and it became the stuff of the front of newspapers. But I sort of think it's really sad, because actually Oliver Reed was a wonderful actor. And if you don't know much about his work, you probably only know the very obvious stuff, like Oliver, for instance. I mean, that's probably the first time I was ever introduced to Oliver Reed, and he was in the musical Oliver, where he played Bill Sikes, and an absolutely brilliant performance, central, really, I mean, bruising performance, eerie and extremely sort of tough performance, you know. And he was in some other amazing films, Women in Love, Tommy, of course, with The Who, where he played Tommy's father, The Devils, another Ken Russell movie, and of course, I guess the one that everyone would remember is, Gladiator, where sadly he died, you know. And there's a really sad story about that. You know, he was sober at that point, and got into a drinking challenge at a local pub and couldn't ignore it, sort of thing. It had been so part of his life, the drinking and the hellraising, and sadly passed away. But of course, you know, Ridley Scott continued to make the movie and got Oliver in there and did face replacement and all that. But I would urge you to go and look at his films. There are so many movies. He was massively involved with Hammer Films for years and years and years and years. And I think it's sad that side of him overshadows the real quality of an actor, you know, the quality actor that he was, and the films that he made.